Taking my dishes up to the judges, I think they look quite good. I'm a bit worried about the way that I've drizzled the sauce around the plate of duck. It kind of looks a bit messy. So for the entree, we've got sumac smoked salmon with crispy salmon skin, an orange, avocado, radish and watercress salad with an Asian citrus dressing, a spicy sumac red sauce and sumac yogurt. For the main, we've got duck breast with a orange and tamarind sauce, red wine shallot, gailan and roast garlic kumara puree. Then for dessert, we've got honey and passion fruit yogurt panna cotta with cassis jelly, orange, lime and ginger confit, and a cassis granita. The cookbook title is Eat Smarter, and really it's all about stylish, sexy food for people that still want to be healthy, but not compromise on flavour.
Some of these dishes are quite labour-intensive, though. Donna, would you sort of agree with that, or...?
There's a lot of work in there, and, you know, the average person's skill level and also their confidence, which is the other thing, might just be a problem.
Well, we're going to taste it.
Cool, thank you.
Thanks, Nadia.
Thanks, Nadia.
As I walk away, I feel good. I've got a 1 in 3 chance of going home, but I've also got a 2 in 3 chance of getting through.
Donna, what did you think about the presentation?
Oh, I think it could be definitely more relaxed. You know, I'm not one for the spread of the sauce across the plate. It can be really graphic, doing that in little piles, but it can also look very empty in a photograph.
I like that. It's quite nice. Spicy, sweet, a little bit of bitter.
The dish for me gets a tick. I do buy into her health kick with this, with smart food. To me, that's a dish that is probably in her book says, hey, you can have this every night during the week.
I think the great thing was that salmon was perfect.
Well, this is the dish that I thought the presentation wasn't great, and I think this is the dish that probably could have looked the best.
Absolutely. Nothing better than being surprised by the taste of a dish when you don't like the look of it. She has cooked that duck perfectly, and that is not easy to do.
The gailan's really nice. The shallot, you know, it's quite sweet, but it brings a nice element to the dish.
Wasn't a huge fan of the presentation, but I really, really like the dish. It's something I rate it very highly.
I think this is the best presented dish. It looks fantastic in a martini glass. If you see that in a book, I think people are going to want to make it, but, you know, it needs to be accompanied by a simple recipe, and, you know, there's a lot of elements going on in this dish.
Looks fantastic, but there are so many flavours going on here. If I just had the wonderful panna cotta with the honey and passion fruit, I think I'd walk away a very satisfied customer.
She obviously understands flavour. She's got a great range of flavours that she can use. If you could just pull her back a little bit, she would be a sensation.
We've been trying for the last 12 weeks.
It never gets any easier. For the first time, I'm thinking I may not get through because we're all as good as each other.
I've no idea whether I've done enough to stay in this competition or not. It's going to be close, I know that.
I don't think throughout the whole competition I've ever been this nervous. I just know how much is at stake right now.
Going into elimination, it's anybody's game. It could just come down to, you know, the book idea or, you know, sort of how we sell it.
I am just resigned to the fact that I'm going home. This is the last time I'm going to be in here. This is the last time I'm going to be in front of my 3 wise men, as I like to call them.
If I go home today, I'll be devastated, because this challenge was my favourite challenge out of the whole competition.
Hi, guys. Your challenge was to create and cook 3 dishes that you would love to see in your first cookbook.
With Donna's help, we've judged you on the dishes you put in front of us. Their suitability for a cookbook, your vision for that cookbook, but also how the dishes tasted.
2 of you will go through to fight for the title of MasterChef New Zealand, but for one of you, the dream is about to end.
OK, guys, let's talk about the food. Nadia, the salmon was beautifully cooked and it was a lovely dish, as was the duck. What let the 2 dishes down slightly for me was the presentation, especially the duck with the sauce that was sort of drizzled a little bit messily around the plate. You just can't do that. Not for a book published shot. It needs to be tidier than that.
I think I've got a lot to learn with food styling. There is actually real art to it, even though some people might think it's really easy.
Your dessert could easily sit on the front cover. It looks spectacular. However, why so many flavours? You know, how many times have we said, don't overcomplicate things? Because I know what you were trying to do. Right? Show us you could make a granita. Show us you could make a panna cotta with a 5% magic. If you just stop with a panna cotta, we'd all be sitting here going, wow.
Yeah, my heart really sinks because I think, yeah, I've made this mistake again to them, and it's probably going to be sending me home.
Stu, well, you're halfway there serving me peas. Pea soup. It was delicious. I loved it. Scallops cooked perfectly. The bread, you spent a lot of time to make all those bread rolls, and I know you know that was a big stuff-up, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, would the book work? Crib to batch? I think a lot of people would struggle with it.
The steak was a piece of grilled eye fillet, a kumara puree, and some blanched bok choy and a bit of pan juice. And there, I've just told you the recipe. Tasted good. If you're going to have a cookbook, you do need recipes that deserve to be written down. Otherwise, why would you do it, you know?
Ray's got a clear vision of what works well in a cookbook and what doesn't. Yeah, I was a little bit unsure after his comments.
Chicken pot pie, really nice. But you missed the refinement and the techniques that would have made it a standout dish. You didn't glaze it, the pastry didn't wrap over the whole lid, the vegetables inside, too small. Why didn't you just keep them chunky? It's a chicken pot pie, chunky vegetables.
Jack's. Spicy, salty, and fishy. I don't know if that sells it to me with your fritters, but when you talked about it with your mum, I bought into it, and, you know, I started to get excited about your book concept. A wedge of lemon or lime squeezed over would have just lifted it and brought it alive.
The lamb shanks were an absolute triumph. Your flavours were great, and it was exactly like what you had described to me lamb shanks should be. Donnah struggled a bit with your concept for the book, but once you started working on her and talking to her, you know, she thought you could sell snow to Eskimos.
The weakest dish was the trifle, the white chocolate mousse. Although delicious, once mixed through, was a little bit grainy, and I'm not sure that that's a recipe you can put in a cookbook and be confident to leave someone to cook by themselves at home.
The judges didn't like 2 of my 3 dishes, and it's real personal because it was my dishes.
This has been an extremely tough decision because the 3 of you are such talented cooks. But 2 of you performed better than the 3rd.
Nadia. Congratulations, you're in the top 2.
Really?
Through to the grand final.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nadia, your dishes stood out today. Perfectly cooked, mostly well presented, and your cookbook vision, with some work, could develop nicely.
I don't know what to say. Jax and Stu, throughout this competition, have been winning a lot of challenges. Neither of them picked me as their threat. I think the tables have turned. I'm really, really determined to win.
Jax, Stu, it comes down to you 2. And let me tell you, it is extremely close.
Stu, your cookbook described a plain and simple approach. The soup was delicious, the fillet was nice, but overall, there wasn't too much to get excited about.
Maybe I didn't sort of think out my menu concept. I should have maybe started thinking about that a bit earlier. But, you know, all in all, I have no regrets.
Jax, love the idea of your book reflecting the tapestry of your life. We quite liked some of your dishes, but it certainly wasn't your best day.
2 out of 3 of my dishes aren't up to par. I'm thinking, oh my God, my dream is over, and I'm going home.
Stu, do you think you deserve to stay in the competition?
Yes, I do.
Do you think you've got the talent to compete strongly in the final?
Yes, absolutely. There are the fire in the bellies, you know, getting more and more. And if given the chance to get into the final, you know, I'm hungry for it.
So you think Jax should go home?
For me to go to the final, yes.
Jax, how about you? Can you win MasterChef?
I know I can win MasterChef. I can feel it.
You've both been fantastic competitors, but there's room for only one of you in the grand final. Ultimately, it comes down to whose dishes showed the most promise. Jacks. You're through to the final, but you'll seriously need to lift your game another notch for next week.
I am feeling completely and utterly amazed, surprised, relieved, excited, frightened. I could go on and on and on.
Stu, I'm sorry, that means you're leaving the competition.
Yes, it does.
Stu, you seem really happy about that.
No, I guess if you don't sort of smile, you cry.
So it's a stiff upper lip, is it?
Absolutely.
You've been one of this competition's most consistent performers.
Stu, it's been an absolute pleasure. I especially loved your curry and your work at Euro. You have the makings of a great chef. I hope it's been a great experience for you.
It's been just a life-changing experience, and I've had a great time. I've learned lots of things, learned patience, friendships, and a whole lot of, good food. I had Simon cook me meals at his restaurant at Euro. It was fantastic. Clooney's, Josh Emmett's restaurant, all those things are just, amazing and what I thought would be out of my reach.
Stu, you've been a great competitor. You showed determination, drive and focus to get this far. Your work in my kitchen and at Euro showed me that you're a natural, but it's now time to leave the MasterChef kitchen.
Anytime you want to come and have a go in the kitchen, give me a call, mate.
Will do, thank you. I have no regrets. I guess I'm not a person that looks back and I could have done this, I could have done that. Go and get it, mate. Yeah. Work really hard to get this far and, to show that, just good on us, hard work can get you this far. It's a good feeling. I'm 10 times better than when I came into this competition. So, I'm pretty sure I'll have, the family and that knocking on the door and ask me to cook them a few feeds.